So, Charlie Kirk died. He was essentially assassinated. And I don't know what I'm going to use for a thumbnail yet. What I'm probably going to use is a picture of him with his wife and his children on stage, because he just had children. He just had a couple kids, a couple newborns, and he's just technically, really, he's just a regular guy, like, just out there making a name for himself. And everyone's going to say he was a right-wing activist and whatnot, and he could have been anybody, just holding a conference, real estate conference. Same thing. He started Turning Point USA. It's pretty much a youth, conservative youth organization, and he never really said anything very hateful, and never went after anybody. If anybody knows, what's going on with the left and right, he's not out there finding people's names and taking pictures of them and finding their house and doxing them and everything like that. He just did his thing, and they shot him on a campus in Utah. I would imagine the gentleman that shot him was, well, I wouldn't call him a gentleman. I guess you could call him a dirtbag, really. But I guess I'm trying to think this civil. But the problem is, I could say, as conservatives, as normal Americans, we've been keeping this civil now for what, 10, 15 years now, and it's only gotten worse. I'm trying to think of the words to say here, because I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to call for an action or call for war, civil war, or whatever. That's what a lot of people are saying online. As we know, the left and everything are praising us. They're having parties. The things that they're saying on X and YouTube and Facebook. It's just some atrocious things. And this is just after that shooting at the Catholic school in church. They've gone after our children. They're going after us. Patriotic Americans. Regular people. I don't really follow politics that much. I know Trump won and yada yada yada, but I'm not trying to find out where people live, where the political opposition, I guess you could say, the Democrats or whatnot. I don't know where Nancy Pelosi lives. I could care less. I don't know where any of them live, but I bet you the left knows where Trump's whole family lives, and it's giving out their address and everything else, just like Charlie and whatnot. That's the difference. We just want to live. We want to go home, watch our Eagles game, eat some hot wings, drink some beer, and just pretty much mostly be left alone, and have our kids be left alone, and enjoy America and what it's gotten us as a nation. What it's brought in us as a nation, and we view what's going around the world, and we don't have none of that. It's for me, living out in the suburbs and not living in the inner city, like Broad and Albany and whatnot, I don't have to necessarily worry about somebody just shooting me. I don't have to worry about drive-bys. I don't have to worry about any of that. Other countries have to worry about that. I necessarily don't have to, but it's starting to turn that way. The fact of the matter is that if I go outside with an American flag on my hat, I might be shot, because I might be viewed as a fascist. Just because I have the American flag out in front of my house, I might be viewed as a fascist. And this is getting ridiculous at this point. I was upset when Trump was nearly assassinated, and it's almost basically 3 assassinations already. All right, he's been nearly assassinated 3 times, and there was an uproar, and it kind of calmed down. And now that we had the shooting in Minneapolis, they're going after our children that are literally in church, praising God, and they're going after children. And everyone's going to say, oh, this is a far fringe, nut job, blah blah blah. But then you go and you watch MSNBC, you watch CNN. They're actually apologizing for misgendering the individual and whatnot. It's rooted, this crap is rooted in the Democrat Party now. This is the Democrat Party. This is the leftists. They, in my opinion, they are the fascists. This is like reverse psychology they're using. It's freaking getting ridiculous. Where is it going to stop? Is this going to be the shot heard around the world, if you want to say that? If you're just a normal Joe, they could be coming after you. You could be, like I said, you could be at church one day. They'll start walking into churches. Guess what? If you're in a church, most likely you're a Republican or you're a conservative. Or you could say you're just a normal, God-loving person. They're coming after you. They're going to get your children too. One way or the other, they're either going to kill them or they're going to brainwash them through the public school system or whatnot. And you can call me a nut job, a conspiracy theorist or whatnot, but it's right there in front of you. Just look on YouTube. You can find videos of them, people that represent the left, talking like this, talking about this. And yes, you can find some nut job right-wingers, if you want to call them that. Yes. The biggest difference is there's not too many, last I checked, there's not too many right-wingers that are going to, I don't know, a gay pride festival and shooting. There's not too many of them. Not that I know of. Or I'd imagine we had all had our guns confiscated a couple years ago when the Biden administration was in town. This is kind of getting me slightly irritated because now, I don't know, I could be in church one day with my children and be shot. What is the difference between that and what the Nazi Party did in Germany? We literally Christians are now being persecuted. If they were in power and they could do whatever they want, we would all be in jail. We would be in re-education camps. There's little, to me what is happening right now with the Democratic Party and leftists and whatnot, it's like socialist fascists. If you took, let's say, if Hitler and Stalin became best friends during World War II, this is, kind of what would be going down right now. Luckily, they both had humongous egos and both wanted to control each other. Because God forbid if Stalin and Hitler would have became best friends, I would say the whole world would be a totally different place. And in my opinion, that's the thinking that they have. I just want to be left alone. It's really all I want. I want patriotic America. I want basically what this country was built upon. And they're gonna, as soon as you say that, they're gonna bring up racism and everything else. And at this point, if you really went deep into their ideology and everything, we should all just get rid of ourselves. To be honest, all of us. Maybe the Indians would be left, but if you really even looked into the history, dive deep down into Native Americans and everything else, everyone's committed atrocities at one point. Everyone's conquered somebody. Everybody's done something. And at one point, it was total chaos on this earth between humans and whatnot. And now we're trying to be civilized, and it's literally gone full circle. It's just now, you could call this intelligent, uncivilized behavior, I guess. That's what you could call it. And I don't see where we go from here. I would say if you kind of want to understand what's going on, just watch The Patriots. The movie The Patriot. And there's a scene where Mel Gibson, he's the one that directed the film and everything. He's basically taking care of the wounded from the from the redcoats and from the revolutionary soldiers that are hurt in the battle. And you can say the protagonist, the evil redcoat, I guess he's a captain or something like that, comes in, and they thank him for taking care of his men, the redcoats that were injured, and then they start executing the revolutionary soldiers under a white flag, and everything. And I guess Mel Gibson's youngest son had a problem with that and came out, and he was shot and died. And Mel Gibson was just trying to stay out of the war. He knew what war was, and they brought war to him and killed his son. And that's exactly what's happening now. While we're enjoying our beer and hot wings, they are wanting to know who we are. They can just drive around and find the American flag on your house. You just go on YouTube, go on Google, look this up. Just go look around people being attacked in Washington D.C. for having the American flag out, ripping down the American flag. It's just, me personally, as a conservative, as a Republican or whatnot, if you want to be gay and whatnot, and you want to be, socialist and whatnot, and you do that in your own house and whatever, that's fine. Don't bring it into my school. Don't teach my children. I'm not going to go over to your house and try to tell you what to do. But you sure as hell want to come to my house and tell me what to do. You want to take away my guns. You want to take away my money. You want to tell my children what they're going to believe and what they're going to do. I just want you to be a patriotic American. If that involves you still wanting to be gay, so be it. Do it in your own home. If that involves you want to be a socialist, I guess so be it. But the problem is, ultimately, it's the same thing with being a socialist or Sharia law. We're not even going to get into that, the whole immigration thing. The ultimate end game of that is total control, governmentally, and tear down of the political system we know and the Constitution and whatnot. They are literally using and rewording and manipulating the Constitution in their own favor. And this is what we have. It's inevitable that it's going to end up in a civil war of some sort. All I can say right now is anybody that has animosity, whether it's left or right, need to chill it out, because I'll say this for the lefties and the socialists and whatnot, you have no idea what normal people like me have in their home, what kind of training we have. Sure, we might not have exact military training, as in we were totally like in the military, but we have training. We can, we have certain hobbies that we're very good at. We have certain amounts of ammunition and weapons. And obviously, I guess, it doesn't take much to pull a trigger, but I'm sure that gentleman, I keep trying to be civil here, I'm sure that asshole that killed Charlie was probably aiming for his head and missed, but still got him. Shot him right up in the jugular between his collarbone and whatnot. And unfortunately, he ended up passing away. Trump announced it. And he left his family behind, and a legacy. And I would say that, before anybody that's out there that's enraged, I've watched the guy, I've seen his events. Be smart. It's still a crime. It's still, we don't want total anarchy. We don't want our children to be walking down the street and just have random gunfire going off for no reason. We don't want to turn this into like gangland Chicago or something. But I would say let Trump, let our system that's somewhat in place now, that somewhat follows what it traditionally has been, let it run its course. Let's just run its course. And I'm hoping that this causes Trump to crack down on certain things and look into certain people even more. And hopefully take care of this. Because if this doesn't get taken care of, if this happens again, or like that happens to children again, and this turns into an occurrence more than there already is. I don't think Trump, whatever you say, I don't think it's going to stop people. I think they're going to feel threatened, and they're going to act. It's going to turn into a civil war. And there's going to be certain institutions that are going to be firebombed. There are going to be certain people that are going to be threatened, and it's going to go down that road. And I'm sorry, but the left, you have no idea who you're messing with. They're not going to miss, and they're not going to just do random acts of violence. It's going to be thought out, planned, meticulous, and it's going to be, it's going to just turn into total chaos, and that's not what this country needs. It's not. Nobody wants to have their brothers and their cousins fighting each other and stuff like that. Like I said, everybody just needs to take a step back right now from this and let the smoke dissipate, because this will destroy America for years to come. After the Civil War, the smoke settled, sure, but there was still repercussions, and that's exactly what would happen. Do you really want a civil war? And I would say no, but inevitably you cannot just keep sitting at home watching your game, eating your beer and hot wings, and saying everything will be fine, because those people, the leftists and whatnot, socialists, they are not doing that. They're spending every waking minute trying to figure out who you are, get a hold of your children, teach them things, destroy the family, destroy Christianity, destroy the Constitution. That is all that they do. They are not regular people. They want to destroy you. They want you gone. They want you manipulated or scared enough that you will play into their system. And they will steal from you and take everything. So this is probably going to be a turning point, I would say. No pun intended. But this is going to be a turning point, I think, for the political rhetoric in America. I'm sorry, I'm working on like a 14-hour day, 15-hour day right now in the sun. So, yeah, I'm not. I wanted this to kind of be professional, but it's going to be what it is. So, anyway, prayers for Charlie's family. It's a shame that when you're, in the public eye like this, they're going to see, like, they might see that. I don't know. I don't want them to be honest with you. They hopefully they're surrounded by loved ones, and it's like his poor freaking kids are going to have to see this shit. That's the real hardening part. Like, anyway, this is Jackknife IRL, and I'm done. I don't even want to say anything else. I'm just disgusted at what's going on here lately. So, have a good night, everyone.